speedrun category for BattleRekt. How fast you die to Onslaught? Is that a speedrun category?
Yeah, probably. We could make it one. Hey, we're in! Woo!
I always feel like it's snowing on this map in the nighttime.
It does seem like a nice winter evening.
But how do you? Is it possible to have cherry blossoms as well as snow?
Probably not, but I'll pretend that it's a thing. It does seem like a nice, snowy evening, just after, a lot of snow dropping and town is quiet. See how quiet it is?
At that team is missing one important name.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that strikes out, at least initially to me, Jeter, who has been the croak master, the man who always is playing croak, is on the Rygon.
Well, that there's not what you saw.
Yeah. Oh! I was wondering who you were talking about. I just threw it off like I acted like I knew what you were talking about.
What you sow rhymes
not
with
here.
Stro. Where did he go? Nobody's knows. Nobody knows.
That was
Damn
almost
it.
good.
Damn it.
That was almost good. Wow, that's crazy. All right, no, reap what you sow. Uh-oh. And also have the double support composition coming out from Onslaught. This should be an interesting match.
All right. Ooh, oh my god, a verse with a huge vortex pulling everybody in and getting the huge extract there. It's a lot of AoE pressure. Now, this is a double healer composition that is very reminiscent of Tebak from the EU region. And of course, the dynamic duo of Averse and Stro undefeated in 2v2. When that once was a thing.
When that was a thing.
Ooh!
Rip.
AoE panic.
That orb's back up. Easy secure for Unsung.
Oh, this could be a dangerous situation. Averse actually takes a deadly inject and a huge amount of burst damage. Clarity Potion is going to clear that out, but now that's not an option for them. We'll see if they can survive this onset of damage. Oh, nice.
There goes the goo. Jeter's looking. Oh, is able to dodge the stun coming off of the ninja's ultimate.
Interesting decision there to use time travel. I wonder if he was trying to get a different target. The Rygon had the jump there. Might have just been the wrong read, the wrong call out.
Yeah, seems so. Right now, Unsung has been in total control of the middle for quite a while now. Getting panicked away is Jeter. Oh, ends up going down. They couldn't get the heals on him in time. Oh, that'll be a 3v2 in favor of Onslaught. And now Onslaught actually able to grab that orb up as well, so things are looking pretty good for them. Goo is going to come down, barrier used. Hi, Mr. Whodat. And, oh, yep.
There it is.
There goes
Versus
Schultz.
accuracy with the X strike is just so on point.
Yeah.
He hits so many of those, and look at him. Look at that guy.
Yeah, Verse is a monster, man. He is a monster.
Another party for the Razorbacks.
Another party for the Razorbacks.
Oh, my God. Nobody goes to your parties.
Yeah.
Taya.
Ain't going to no Razorback party.
1042 damage. Oh, my God.
What the hell are you talking about?
And it disables 165. Reverse putting out that CC like nobody's business.
Yeah, dude, Averse. Crushing. Taking him to Pound Town. With that Taya. He is just a monster on Taya, but, well, that is one round going the way of Onslaught. We'll see now how round 2 goes. Mr. Whodat in here today as well, playing the Lucy. But check her out. Onslaught with this double support composition. Not typical of them, but of course they are playing without Reap What You Sow for anybody that is just joining the broadcast here today.
We will see. Here comes Onslaught once again with their double healer lineup.
Here we go, pressing forward.
Oh my gosh. Jeter is trying to get in and dive onto Averse, and it looks like it's working. Put some pressure onto Lucy. He has to use a time travel to get out, but now Lucy's taking all the damage. Inside the crippling goo as well, has to use a swift roll, and here comes a chase. Iva and Rygon diving in, and almost wall blocking off in that scenario. The Zap is going to take out the Petrify. It's going to disable it. You got a side to side now. Oh my God, how is Stro still alive? The man can't die apparently, and Averse is still alive as well. 2v1ing, or 1v1ing, I suppose. And in the 2v2 on the bottom there, And Averse is still on very low health, is just mounted up and making his way across. How are they both still alive? That situation was so bad. How can they climb out of this scenario? If they do, it would be a miracle run for them.
Who is going to fall here? Unsung just pressing forward all the way back towards the spawn. Jeter with no regard, man.
There
he is just balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And Ninja's soon to fall here. Oh, yeah, there he goes. And Averse. And he's dead.
Yeah, that was a very difficult situation to climb out of. So, I've just been informed that Arakune is on suspension, and so he's not going to be playing on Onslaught for a while.
That's right.
Wish him the best of luck, of course. And I think Stro is a good replacement just in this sense. He's obviously got a lot of synergy with Averse, and it's actually quite exciting to see this as a team. The only question is, Ninjas has typically been a support player, specifically a serious player for the longest time, and now is on Uldur. And of course, Ninjas is a talented enough player to pick up any roles, but it is very interesting to consider this new lineup here and see how that kind of pans out for them.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it definitely is a big change up from what they are used to, but I mean, these guys are all very talented players, so I suspect they'll be all right. Is it tournament winning caliber, though, is the question. We'll find out. But now Averse using his tornado, looking to see where he can re-engage here, getting stunned up
nice
from that tractor beam.
from Ninjas there. Just stop Chalt's aggression. Dead in the water there.
Oh, getting panicked away was Jeter. Goo is going to come down. Nobody really caught inside of that, though.
It was fairly expensive there. Both the mobility on the side of Uldur had to be spent, and Averse had to spend Tornado on himself. So that double hit on the Crippling Goo was actually quite valuable.
Carniflux coming down again from Ninjas, just kind of opening up a little space for themselves, but they've really been pressed Onslaught the past couple of rounds, just back into this bottom left area of the map. Really been pressed down there. Now Jeter's looking to engage. Goo is going to come out. Not a whole lot of follow-up with that. Goo on both sides not getting tons of effect, though. As I say that, Chalt was kind of pushed back into the Goo.
God, yeah. Conscious effort to actually leave Stro on his own. And where Stro was fine, he kind of was zoned out and couldn't help Ninjas. And so Ninjas actually fell. Now, upon watching the European segment of BattleRekt, what was interesting for Tibak was when they were running double support, they actually ran into a wall against Functional Sociopath, and I think Onslaught is running into much the same issue right now. Despite the fact that they have a lot of survivability and a lot of healing throughput, they can't really buy into space because they're not able to be as aggressive, as consistently aggressive as you can with a double DPS lineup.
Yeah.
And so they're not able to take objectives, they're not able to take map space as easily, and so they find themselves slowly being whittled down in a very even set game where Unsung can take repeated swings at their health bars while Onslaught has to take very measured slices at it and really hope that they cut with precision.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, there's damage output there, but as you said, the aggression certainly lacking in this composition compared to what they were running before. So they don't get to go wherever they want all the time. But you know, right now, Unsung, they got the 2-1 lead. They're cruising at the moment. Jeter's been really dishing out that damage as well, getting good support from Mr. Hudat and Chalt. And now we head on into round number 4. Right away. And it comes out, just poking. Jeter's waiting for his opening. Who does he want to get on first? It looks like Stro, and he is really pressuring him quite a bit. Used his parry. Barrier was used on Stro. And now that orb is up. Unsung pretty easily, comfortably able to secure it. And now changing direction over to Averse. He used his tornado and got the barrier, but not before taking quite a bit of damage. So now the Goo comes out as well from Mr. Hudat, and the exchange Goo on the side of Onslaught. Jeter got pushed back into that for a moment. Mr. Hudat took some damage from it, but for now, pretty
Onslaught
big
was
health
able
advantage.
to actually steal that orb there. It might have been the versus Boomerang that was just getting by. But they, oh, wow, hit him on the roll. That's what we're talking about with Averse's accuracy with X-Strike. Kind of read where that Swift roll was going, was able to tag a stun onto Mr. Hudat, and that increased pressure was just enough to be able to finish out the kill onto Jeter.
Trying to get out of there is Chalt, but can't manage to get far enough away from the damage. So Mr. Hudat, as he goes down, Onslaught will tie this game right back up 2-2. And it's been quite the close one here so far. Onslaught, I don't know how long that they have been playing with this lineup or, you know, with this composition in general. Of course, you know, so I don't know how long they've had to practice with this. But so far, it's been tight, back and forth. Plenty of game left to go for both sides.
Absolutely. Now, Unsung seems to be running against this scenario where they, in the neutral game, if they start losing out on objectives, there's actually so much pressure that Onslaught is putting out that they start falling behind really quick. They need to make sure they don't let any more damage come through, and they don't let Onslaught bully them any more than they have. Getting hit by X-Strikes like that is really going to slow your pace down. Averse spent the tornado aggressively, jumps in towards Lucy, and the orb goes again to Onslaught. Plus, they're pushing aggressively here. Averse is actually in the position to punish Chalt when he tries to grab the green orbs. And that's exactly what we're talking about. You need to be very careful about how you play out your map control. Given that you are standing in the center of the map, you have the opportunity to play carefully enough and deny resources for your opponents. Don't let them trade back in.
Man, Averse is...
Here comes Piggy.
Pounding right now. He is going to use his ultimate. Jeter's starting to get pretty low on health here. A big health advantage again in favor of Onslaught. See if they can capitalize on this.
Deadly eject. Oh my god, barrier just barely.
Right now, Averse looking to create some space again, start moving on in, but Jeter's coming back with his own goo, is going to drop here.
He's
desperately trying to get out as Averse. He did get it just in time, used Tornado on himself.
He's in trouble. There's no taser. He needs to dodge shots.
Oh, good heals from Stro, though.
The double healing is going to allow Averse to get picked up much quicker there. They're trying to go for some fancy plays. He tried to make a few reads on his X-Strike, but doesn't quite land them. But now they're able to push them back. Averse needs to be very careful. He's playing some very dangerous spacing here, taking a lot of risks, and just kind of playing just so ever slightly out of range. They're able to make the kill, and this is the hallmark of kind of Onslaught as a team. They know how to get away with the smallest things.
Yeah, and that's something... yeah, that was very key in the success of Onslaught throughout, you know, these past 5 weeks. One of the things that they just do so well is punishing small mistakes. They know when to engage, and you know, obviously things a little different in how they do that with the composition that they're running. But nonetheless, these players are some of the best out there in the NA scene. So, and they've played together for quite a while. To some degree, but anyway, Jeter.
Averse trying to take aggressive position here, and he needs to find some... Oh my god, the double stun. Jeez. Even though Ninjas was in CC, that double stun from the X-Strike aimed perfectly to lock out 2 members on the side of Unsung, mitigated a ton of the damage and put pressure back onto Onslaught's side. All right, there's not a lot of cooldowns here for Averse. He's actually just going to have to run out. He uses his dash finally. Rygon!
Wow.
He actually just got belted.
That was insane. He jumped away and then I believe got clarity from range, really, right back into the goo, and then he had nothing left.
You just rocketed yourself. Oh my god.
Ripperino.
Free ticket to the spa. Here you go. And Jeter was all about that. Well, so nice vacation there.
Onslaught map point for them. Setting up 4-2 over Unsung here. We'll see if they can close it out. It was a little back and forth at the start, but Onslaught have been in total control as of the last few rounds. Really haven't been having too many issues. Have hardly even lost a player or had a player die. Jeter wrapping himself all the way around. He's going to go for the quick engage. As he wrapped around, they double stacked. Are actually dumping a lot of resources into Jeter right now. Zap, shield, and he uses parry as well. Needs to be careful. Oh my.
Lots of damage onto Jeter and not a lot of damage in return. Now, Averse needs to be somewhat careful. He's very confident in his ability to dodge, and he avoids a Panic Flask in that scenario, spends a Tornado and barriers on him as well. So that's a lot of cooldowns going into it. He actually whips the X-Strike this time around, tries to play aggressive onto Chal, will actually dodge the taser, and Averse seems to just be standing in front of damage, but not taking any. Wow. He's avoided damage for so long. Finally, here comes what may be a punish, but the aim isn't quite right, and all the members of Onslaught dive out of the way of that crippling goo.
Man, Stro, I'd love to see his damage numbers after this round. Every time Jeter comes in, I just constantly see Deadly Inject on Jeter. Stro has just been pumping him full of the Deadly Inject.
Oh my god, I feel like the last 4 tasers have just been a whiff on Chalt's side. Verse has just sidestepped every single one of them this game.
Oh, little Venn diagram action here.
There's a
the
double stun.
Oh, that's so much damage. Mr. Whodat. Done.
And Flask for the kill. I mean, really, you see a Verse at less than full health, right?
Yeah.
And the max health system works as such. If you're 40 health lower than your max health value, then as you take damage, you start losing that max health, and you cannot be healed back up to your normal values, right? And a Verse was missing that max health, which is really dangerous because if you get chunked down, that damage stays. But he was brave enough to just stand there and say, I'm just going to move left side to side, left to right, juke you out, and dodge every single bit of aggression you throw at me, dodge panic flasks, dodge tasers, dodge everything that was coming his way, used the tornado to get out of the way of Rygon's jumps and further aggression, and was just literally just standing in threatening rage for Taya, avoiding all kinds of CC and all kinds of damage, and that gives you incredible pressure. If you're brave enough to do such a thing, you actually find yourself in a position where you can just freely start wailing away on your enemies, and Verse gets away with it.
Yeah, Verse, I mean, he's one of the best Tayas out there, if not the best. The guy can play really well on that champ, but any champ, really. I mean, the guy is a fantastic player, obviously. But anyway, that's going to be Onslaught. They take it. What was that, 5-2? 5-2 for them, 5-3, and pretty convincing win for them, not seeming to really be having any troubles, at least in this match so far, with the change-ups in composition and teammates. You know, they seem to be pretty on point playing this double support composition.
I think there were two things. The first thing is they really started punishing Unsung a lot more for any attempt to grab objectives, right? Every time they tried to come in for green, when they tried to take middle rune, they really made it difficult for them, as well as a Verse playing forward aggressive and being brave enough to say, you know what, if I don't do this, we're going to lose anyways. So he just played forward and just said, it's time for me to dodge. He put on his black coat, his sunglasses, started playing the Matrix background music,
man.
and he started just dodging everything. And that is kind of one of the issues that we identified with this double support, is how do you buy into space, how do you force yourself to be in an aggressive position so you can start pushing lethal damage or pushing true damage on your opponents, and kind of doing all that stuff. And that's exactly how Verse did it. He said, I'm just going to stand there and have it happen.
Just literally just walked in and, you know, he did his thing. And he just sat there and pumping boomerangs into people. And, you know, that's going to allow Onslaught, to get our first map in this best of 3. So, of course, winner of this series will then move on to go play into the finals after this as well. So it's curious for me to see Jeter playing on the Rygon. I don't know if, because typically you would see Chalt and Jeter have always played this combo, Croak Ashka. That's just been their thing. They've been doing it pretty much throughout the entirety of BattleRekt, the Proving Grounds at least, this tournament series. Always pretty much playing Croak Ashka. I'm not sure what brought on that change up. I mean, we've seen a lot of people gravitating more recently towards Rygon picks. He seems to be coming back into the meta much more so now, so maybe they just felt like that was a necessary change for them. I know, I believe it was last week or the week before, that was something that they were actually struggling with. Jeter and Chalt was landing the combos, you know, with their Ashka and Croak. It was something that they were having a lot of trouble with, so maybe that change up was coming from, you know, they felt they could get better use out of this Rygon because they weren't hitting some of those combos. I don't know, who knows, we'll have to talk to them, but anyway, they have made the change-ups here. Certainly not out of it yet, but Onslaught just continuing to roll on, you know, as they often do. Onslaught, they're definitely looking good so far.
I do think that there's some similarities between Croak and Rygon in the sense that there's some good setup, there's some good initiation, and the mobility can be fairly similar. Now, Croak has 2 instances, which is actually very important because you get to decide in 2 different timings how you want to dodge abilities, whereas Rygon really only gets 1 opportunity to do that. But it's also very hard to lock down both of them, and especially Rygon with a parry can make it very dangerous to go aggressive on him if you know that he has it up. And so they kind of do very well in kind of hit and run situations and high mobility situations, and as well as using CC to lock people down. So I think that there are some similarities in playstyle that Jeter can carry over from his Croak experience, but I don't know. I don't know if he would be more effective on Croak or Rygon. I have a feeling it's going to be Croak, but they're also very high-level players, so...
Yeah, and the other thing is, too, Chalt, I mean, he's now playing the Iva, which is just obviously a very popular pick in the current state. Great utility. on Iva. It's, I think, tough for a lot of teams to not play an Iva. I mean, obviously you can get away with it, but a lot of people are really enjoying the utility that they get out of the Iva, of course, with Zap. And, you know, there's some pretty cool combos that you can do with Tractor Beam, all sorts of good stuff. It has a lot of utility in the kit. Shields are a very popular thing right now, so, you know, we see Chalt playing that, not these guys playing this Ashka Crow combo. So we'll see if they make any change-ups. I don't know. Time will tell. Of course, we'd imagine Onslaught continuing to play this double support composition as well, since they have been playing quite well with it thus far. And let's see. Did they do it? Did they make the change? Nope.
We are in the jungle.
We are in the jungle. We are not in the jungle. It is Jeter still playing the Raigon. Now we'll
This
see
is a jungle map, right?
Well, maybe? Yeah. I thought you were making a Croak reference. That's why I was... Well, I guess you were in a roundabout way.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But, here we are. Onslaught, the 1-0 lead.
Why has it got chains and stuff? Wait, is it the jungle map?
This
We'll see.
is...
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
A little jungle-esque.
Jungle-esque. All right.
But here we go. Same compositions, both sides. See if Unsung maybe can get themselves back into this game. If Onslaught win this map, though, they've got themselves a date in the finals.
Gotten the date every single time so far.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been
Look
on
at
a lot of
Averse.
dates.
He's just going. They lose out the center orb.
Yeah, weren't quite able to secure.
Ooh, nice incapacity. I really like that decision from Charles. Stops Averse aggression. Cold.
Jeter in trying to get in onto Stro. He's going to knock him up and actually get the end cap on him now. The goo drops from the side of Unsung. Averse able to get away from danger, though. He has taken quite a bit of damage, but he is at least out of there for now and still alive, so...
Nice use of the panic flash there from Stro. Is going to allow Averse to put pressure onto Chalt. He whips his X-Strike just a little bit, and they're going to fall back to gain some kind of momentum here as the second orb pops up, and I think this is a very important moment. Meter spend probably come out, and there it is, Stro with the crippling goo to take it.
Oh, man. Getting melted. There's Mr. Hoodat.
So, you know that whole thing about the Lucy dilemma? Now
Yeah.
that you got ninjas on your team, the Lucy dilemma can be easily solved by spending an equally large amount of meter. I throw crippling goo, you throw crippling goo on me, Uldur spends time travel, and now you're in crippling goo, and we have time travel coming in. If you get stunned up, you can't swift roll because you threw your goo.
Yeah. It's the dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dilemma. What do you do? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why would I know?
Sucks for Hoodat because he's going
Yeah.
to be on the receiving end of that damage, and there's not really a lot aside from something like maybe Zap from Iva that can really save Mr. Hoodat from that scenario. So he pretty much in that scenario, if he tries to punish Goo with Goo, he gets destroyed by time travel as well. 2-second stun in crippling Goo with all 3 members of Onslaught pounding on you. I would expect that to 9 times out of 10 just be a one combo kill.
Yeah. It's something definitely have to be aware of if you're Mr. Hoodat, or Stro even, really. But Mr. Hoodat for sure needs to be on the eye. Keep an eye out for it. Is right now Averse going into the back here, really trying to put a lot of pressure onto Mr. Hoodat. He's just all the way in the back line. Now maybe repositioning a bit, but he's getting pressured by Chalt. Actually needs to watch himself. But now, already with the ultimate is Chalt in the back here. It's just going to be raining bullets onto the Onslaught players as they kind of press them back into this corner. Gotta watch the positioning. Averse is very low, uses Tornado just in time, but can he make it out alive is the question. Body blocking beautifully was Ninja's, but Averse ends up going down in the end. Goo placed on both sides. Now Stro is really getting run at. Oh, did he just miss that from point blank?
That was really good from Jeter in that scenario. The crippling goo on top, and he knew that he had a lot of pressure, so he played aggressive with his cooldowns. And when they tried to punish him for it, oh god, you gotta wait a little longer. You gotta start coming down from the knock-up if you want to catch your ultimate.
Couldn't quite survive there. And down goes Onslaught. Unsung strike right back, get around on the board. Exactly how things played out last time around, I believe, except Unsung grabbed the first round, but that's all right. We're all tied up 1-1. This is Unsung's game. They need to get back into this. Jeter top damaging last round, getting some good effect out of the Raigon, made multiple real solid plays, kept the pressure up really onto the supports back there, and Averse as well. And that was something that we saw when teams had success against Onslaught. It was really putting pressure onto Averse and making sure that they punished him. That was one of the ways that teams had good success against Onslaught. So see if Unsung can maybe get a little bit of that going for themselves. But right now, Jeter now jumping in, going on to Stro. And now just get himself out of there, get a little bit of damage out, go back into the middle, try and grab up that orb. Unsung able to get it.
It seems much tougher for Onslaught in this scenario to gain map control. There's a big crippling goo, got to push down 2 cooldowns and really separate Averse from the rest of the team. He had the barrier up, and another haste is going to actually allow him to cover most of the distance back to his team, and he will make it.
Wow.
A huge distraction for Unsung.
Made them all turn, and then he pretty much got out, but oh no, now he's in a little bit of trouble, just getting slammed right there, and Unsung able to get that orb. But now Jeter needs to be a bit careful himself. There's a couple of real hurt players on the side of Unsung. Jumping right back in though, trying to keep on Stro for now.
He tried to use his ultimate, but got X-striked and it canceled it.
Oh, rip. Well, now a 2v3, or actually no, now it's just a 1v3. See you later. Mr. Who Dat. Onslaught now taking a 2-1 lead. This series.
Double healer for Onslaught. The slow, wet noodle death.
the slow, wet noodle death?
Wet noodle death. They are slapping their enemies with a wet noodle until they surrender or die.
Yep. It's a tricky one to play against, man. The double support, it's just so much friggin' sustain, especially when you have Averse too, who's got the tornado. You know, you have not only the healing out of Stro and Ninjas, but then you have Barrier on Stro plus Tornado from Averse. It's just a lot of sustain potential, a lot of ability to bail people out of danger, especially even with time travel on Ninjas. You have yet another one there, but again, Onslaught kind of getting pushed down into this bottom left corner. Jeter's frontlining. But they are just going to turn right back around and grab that orb. Smart decision, just going for the orbs. They had the positional advantage, but now Onslaught seeing maybe how they can work their way back in here. Oh no!
A little bit of that lag coming in, but a crippling goo to try to punish, but he really just got kind of tractor beamed out of it. And Averse is keeping up with his healing, so he should be okay there, especially with the barrier and incapacity on the Raigon is going to allow them to get the center orb, while Stro also spends crippling goo on it.
Averse gonna come back in, the ultimate coming out again from Chalt here, got barrier in the middle of it. Now Jeter's starting to re-engage a bit. Oh, now the ultimate from Ninjas is going to land, got the stun, but Zap was down, now barrier used, so didn't really get a whole lot of damage off the back of it. Goog now coming out from the side of Unsung. Oh no, so hurt is Mr. Who Dat, and he ends up falling. Same with Chalt. And Jeter is not long for this world either. As Onslaught.
3-1.
3-1.
They seem to have adapted and are playing with their new strategy very nicely.
Yep.
And I think, as always, it's very tough to beat a double healer composition that has kind of stopped you in your tracks.
Yeah, they don't seem to be having really any issues here whatsoever with the change-ups that they made. They're taking it to Unsung here quite handedly. We'll see if they can seal the deal, but it looks like their date might be just about finalized for the finals. Still waiting on the text back to confirm.
About to good. Sent the text out, is now staring at the phone screen.
Staring, waiting for, see if she read it. Still hasn't quite read it yet.
The PLZ respond, Bible thump.
Please respond. Maybe they'll get a response after this round. If they win it, she'll be impressed by the wonderful play they've had, as now starting to press Averse all the way in the back again.
Stro left in kind of a bad situation, and Averse actually took quite a bit himself.
Oh, down goes Averse. Getting melted here, but Stro needs to be careful. They're just going to sit top right for now. Goo comes out, spacing away as Ninjas. Where's the follow-up? See Jeter continuing to press on. Oh man, getting pulled in. The barrier was there. Good barrier from Stro, but still.
There it is.
Oh, gonna have to use time travel. I don't know if they're gonna be able to get themselves out of this one. Stro is incredibly hurt, so is Ninjas, and there is no barrier at the moment. The goo got dropped. No one caught inside of it. Doesn't really matter because Unsung are going to pick up the round. Onslaught still the 3-2 lead. Still sitting on that read, or unread. Didn't text. They weren't impressed by the play.
Yeah.
But Onslaught still looking good here.
Not good enough for the reply quite yet. And so the scoreline is going to move to 3-2, where Unsung is losing by 1 entire map. All Onslaught has to do is win 2 more, and they will move on to the finals. And here we go. It looks like Jeter wants to play aggressive. Very aggressive.
Oh, Jeter looking for his lane. Oh, Tornado's going to be used. On to Stro. Well done, because he was definitely in some trouble right there. Looking to see if they can grab that orb, but Unsung are able to grab it in the end. So now goo already coming out. Ninja's caught in. It does get the Tornado, though, from Averse, so he'll be able to make it out relatively safely. A bit of an awkward fight here. Jeter was down, continuing to press Stro on the bottom.
And here we go, the double taser bounce, and they're still trying to fight for the orb, and I think they will get it probably off the back of Averse's boomerang here. That is very important. That's resources that they absolutely need to have in this fight. There's so many things that they do that are energy dependent. It's just good to have that around. Stro sitting on a full stick of butter. Nice use of the panic flask.
He's got it. Will he use it, though? Yep, they are actually both going to throw it out there. Mr. Hudat's caught in the middle. He's got nothing to get away from it.
The Lucy dilemma. Do
Lucy
not
dilemma.
throw the crippling goo. I mean, it was an immediate response. The instant they saw the goo come down, Stro said, okay, I'm gooing too.
Yep.
And that's a tried and true. Oh my god, this guy is doing a 2-time repeat of his anime season.
Season 1 was just so good. Had to bring it back for another.
And then he died to a deadly injection.
And then he died, yeah.
The ultimate demise.
Season 3 may get canceled. Onslaught, though, they've got a match point. Potential to move on to the finals here. Just one more round is all they need. Doing quite well. Winning, taking these games, at least so far, pretty handedly with this new composition for them.
Let's see how they do in this potentially game-winning round for themselves. Vortex is going to pull him back. Pops a parry after the Vortex happens, which is important because the Vortex might have actually just stopped the parry.
Jeter took quite a beating there. Oh, Stone Glass came out.
Really good use of CC right now. Stone Glass into the Panic Flash. There's a lot of space that Onslaught is buying, and good dispels on the CC on Averse. And now he can put out damage, and they push down the Iva.
Chalt is out of it. Jeter probably soon to follow. He's trying to get out, but the Petrify was down onto Mr. Hudat. He's just so hurt right now. Oh man, Jeter hanging on by the skin of his teeth. Unless he gets a barrier, he's done. Tried to drop his ultimate, didn't get it out there in time, and that is going to be Onslaught moving yet again into the finals. 6 weeks in a row in the finals for Onslaught. That is just absolute insanity. 5 of which they've won. They're looking for their 6th here today, but they take down Unsung 2-0, 5-2.
With a slightly new lineup as well. Averse, Stro, and Ninjas working together to try to make the dream work in the absence of reap what you sow, where it would have been a much more aggressive game. Onslaught is still running aggressive plays, but they're just playing such a defensive composition that it lends itself well to kind of sustainability in longer games.
Yeah, Stro, too, has just been playing really solid on the Lucy. Even dishing out pretty solid amounts of damage. It was, I saw a few times throughout that where he didn't seem to have too many problems dealing with Jeter for the most part. I mean, there was a lot of times where I saw Jeter would come jump in and then Stro's just sitting there like, either panicking him or just pumping him with Deadly Inject and all sorts of good stuff, really kind of keeping him at bay. But Onslaught, not too many issues for them. They are going to move on into the finals. Despite all of the change-ups with the roster and compositions, they are looking good right now, Arthur.
I would have to agree. I want them to try something more aggressive,